Welcome everyone to another video, and in this video we're going to be testing out a new team, Typhlosion. So I've heard a lot of hype about Typhlosion. I'm going to run Lapras and Clefable. My team is a little weak to a lot of things in the back. A lot of meta things like Venusaur and Registeel. So I'm putting a lot of... Well, Venusaur's okay with Lapras with shields up. So obviously this is a terrible matchup for me. So I'm going to count to 6 and switch out and catch this dynamic punch, but I totally expect a Registeel to come out. Oh, no, it ends up being a Venusaur, so this is actually okay-ish. I don't know, like... Frenzy Plant. So not a particularly great situation for me. And I'm going to build up a little bit, and then I don't want to get hit by Sludge Bomb. I probably should have, like... let the Sludge Bomb come through. It actually shield, okay? And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll let it go through. And they're Sludge Bombing me. And I have a little bit of energy advantage. And they do a really nice job at switching there. I'm like, well, I'm kind of done for right now. And I'm like, okay, I might as well put up the shield. And then I don't know why I switched out for... yeah, and I don't know, I let this dynamic punch come through for whatever reason. Kind of dumb reason, I don't know. I guess because I expect the Venusaur to come out. Which ends up being the case. And I really should have just committed to the farm down. Yeah, I should have ended up committing to the farm down. And then they have Registeel in the back. And then I go for the Blast Burn. I'm hoping that they try to KO me. Okay, great. But I'm in a horrible situation right now. This is Registeel. If I don't take it out with and I actually really got confused because anyways, as I'm trying to like go through these planes, I'm like, I thought I burned the shield, but I realized I didn't because I switched out. But anyways, GG, well played. The next match, gonna try the same team again. And not a good situation, so I switch out to Clefable, and I'm like, please don't have Registeel, and they don't. They end up having Snorlax, and gonna go and land this Meteor Mash. They seem to be like charging up a lot of energy. I'm not really sure what they're doing. I'm not certain. I thought they would be able to spam out the charge moves a little bit faster, but I KO it, win switch advantage. Really want to land this Meteor Mash, but my opponent is wise enough to let it go. And now I have switch advantage, and I go into Lapras. And I'm like, okay, this person must not have a great counter in the back, so I'm going to keep Lapras alive. And I go for the Surf. And I go for another Surf. And I'm like, okay, well, if they shield, they must have an Earthquake. If they Hydro Cannon me, then well played. So they do a really nice switch here, so really great job. And I am not in a great situation right now. So I switch out to Typhlosion to absorb this Ancient Power, which I'm not necessarily sure that was the best move. And they hit me with a charge move. But these Shadow Claws are actually adding up to quite a bit of damage. And they actually don't go for the Ancient Power. They go for the Dragon Claw. I'm like, oh man, that's amazing. And then I realize they're totally in Surf range. So I'm going to land one more and then go for the Surf. And take out this Giratina, and then miraculously they actually had enough energy for an Earthquake. And I'm like, oh wow, this is actually going to be pretty close. I thought I was going to run away with the victory as soon as I got that Blast Burn off, but so my opponent definitely could have won if they Ancient Powered my Typhlosion instead of Dragon Claw. And I think we air out of this match. Yeah, we do air out. I got this a couple times. I'm not really sure. I was like, just making sure I didn't lose. So I go back in. This team was not bad. Very weak too. I ran into so many Swampert, Giratina, Registeel. Okay, so this is a positive matchup for me. So I totally expect to switch out, and I switch out into Clefable. and the Ancient Power. And they have a Dragon Breath version, so it's not going to be able to generate energy that quickly. Plus, I double resist the fast move, so I don't even need to shield. If this was Shadow Claw variant, I probably had to shield one of these, but leaves me in a pretty decent situation. I am going to go for the Meteor Mash, and I do need to apply some damage to the Registeel anyways, because a Blast Burn won't KO a Registeel from full health, shockingly, because it's too much of a beast. Okay. All right, so really nice job by my opponent by switching. I should have, one day they're going to switch out. I'm just going to beam them. I'm just going to, if I have it ready, I'm just going to, so I'm in a good situation right now. But I still have to be a little bit careful, especially since these switch clocks come up so quickly. And I am going to go for the Surf, and I'm not going to shield. And they do get the Earthquake, and I'm totally expecting the switch out pretty soon. And oh yeah, I really should. Well, I should be able to absorb this. It's fine. I'm gonna part up a little bit, and I really try. I'm like, this Swampert like almost at no health. I was like, you know what? Let me try for the beam. Let me try for the Solar Beam, and then obviously they're too quick. So ended up finishing it with this Ice Shard anyways, but I tried. That would have been pretty cool to try to finish off that match with the... so this person ended up... I feel so bad. Sorry, Dion, I don't know. They end up... I think they bring the wrong team. I was like, oh, okay, all right. I'm just going to switch out to Clefable. And I was like, oh no. And then I realized that they probably just brought in their 10 CP team. I don't know why you have one at, so Aravel is a top trainer in Montreal. So this is a decent match, and they go into Giratina. Again, another Dragon Breath version of Giratina. And I actually don't think he has this double moved. Or I don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he doesn't have this double move. So these Dragon Claws, as you can see, compared to the Ancient Power version, like the Ancient Power version put me into the red. And here comes Articuno. His Meteor Mash would be super effective and do a lot of damage. And I actually debate, to be honest, shielding and then going for it. Because I definitely would have got there. And I'm going to go into, I think... and then I'm like, okay, this is fine. Gonna Blast Burn this and then switch out into a Lapras, and I'm in a very positive situation right now. They don't shield, and what do I do here? Is this Earthquake? This is an Earthquake, yeah. I should have shielded. But that's fine. And I'm gonna go straight for the Surf. I think he gives up on this match. Yeah, because he definitely should have beat me to the charge move. And he obviously doesn't shield, so GG. I just had hard counters. I don't think he has that Giratina double moved. Which makes it, especially running the Dragon Breath version. Well, I guess you should be running the Dragon Breath version if you, I don't know what the correct answer is. So anyways, gonna go into Typhlosion, into Mew. I was like, oh man, I've gotten demolished by Mew so many times. I'm like, please don't have Surf. And they have Psyshock. Actually does quite a bit still. I've got demolished by Mew so many times because I'm like, I have no idea what their moveset is. And so I think I end up shielding. And what do I do? I end up going for the Blast Burn. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to try to charm it down. And I'm like, and then look at this. This is crazy. Overheat. So much damage. Nice job. Really nice switch. Really, really great job. Great play by them. Very impressive. So basically, my Typhlosion is almost at no health. I don't want to get hit by this Ancient Power, but I'm an idiot, and I go for the Surf. So I do no damage with it. I'm gonna look to farm down, and I do farm, and I'm like, they're probably gonna bring that Mew back. The Psyshock's not gonna do a lot of damage. They just did an overheat as well. And they have Giratina. I was like, oh, God. Like if I get hit by an ancient power plus these shadow claws, it might be able to KO me. So I sack my Typhlosion, and that works out beautifully for me. Because enough energy for me to get to this Ice Beam, and I KO and GG. So feel pretty decent about this team. Okay, so then I'm going up against Hydro, really great trainer. Oh, okay, he lags a little bit at the beginning, and I decide to switch out into Clefable, and I go for the Meteor Mash, which I expect to be shielded, and what I do. So I'm like, I don't want to get off more than one charge move. Oh, actually, to go into Typhlosion. Okay, all right. Shield this. And then I'm like, okay, this Machamp's going to come out and immediately Rock Slide me. So I got to hit the charge move. Oh, and brilliant play. Absorb the charge move. And I'm like, oh, please don't Rock Slide me. And I was like, oh, God, I am in an absolute terrible situation right now. And I was like, okay, I have a couple plays here. He's probably expecting the bait. So I'm going to go straight for Ice Beam. He doesn't shield. I was like, to be honest, I was going to double Ice Beam anyways because I think I had enough health. Well, he might have been able to Dragon Claw before I got to the Ice Beam. So, but I had to risk it. GG. Really crazy absorbing the. It kind of like let me know what was in the back. So that was helpful for me. So, yeah, I'm going to Clefable, and then I think I met by a Venusaur, so I'm like, oh god, this is absolutely terrible. I think I got demolished in this game. They go for the Sludge Bomb. It actually doesn't KO, and I get the Meteor Mash. I'm like, please shield. And they do shield. I don't know, like, I might be able to Shadow Claw down if... Anyways, I'm in not a particularly great situation, so I'm going to shield and then shield the Sludge Bomb, so it's decent for me. And I go for the Blast Burn. I don't know if shielding is like the right play, to be honest. And I'm going to go straight into... And I'm like, this is probably going to be an Earthquake. And it is an Earthquake, so okay, that's fine. And I'm going to go for the Surf. And they go into a Lowland Muck. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm screwed. I am screwed. I was hoping it was going to be Guarantee in the back, but it's quite all right. So I'm like, okay, I got to be clever with this play somehow. And I'm like, oh, I really shouldn't have fired off this Surf. I really should have saved it because I saw my switch timer come up. But I guess it allowed me to Shadow Claw this down. And I really debated whether or not Shadow Clawing was the right move or not. And puts me at low enough health. And I'm like, okay, it's within Blast Burn range. And really nice job. And I think they fired off the charge move right away. So I'm not in a great situation. If I would have just done a little bit more, one more Ice Shard, I think I lose the CMP tie to Swampert, so I probably need to do 2 more anyway. So really nice job, GG. So I'm like, okay, if he lands the Earthquake, I am screwed. So I'm going to go for the Blast Burn. It's going to do a lot of damage. I think he doesn't end up shielding this. So I switch out. I'm hoping that this actually was an Earthquake, but ends up just body slamming me. So it goes into Swampert. And here I make this huge mistake. I'm like, oh, maybe I can get to Psychic. And but what I really should have just Meteor Mashed. This Meteor Mash would have forced a shield. Ah, stupid me. And then it cost me the match. Because I'm stupid, right? Oh, God. Oh, man. And then I end up letting this go, and it ended up being just a Hydro Cannon. And then, oh, man, I make another dumb mistake here. he ends up hiring me the Hydro Cannon again. And I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, it's so stupid, King. I played this game terribly. I should have went for I don't know. He's 2 shields, so he doesn't shield there. So I am going for the yeah, and I end up letting this go. Ends up being Ancient Power, and then here comes Snorlax, and then I'm like, okay, I have a couple plays here. One, I was hoping that would be Earthquake, but I don't know why I was expecting that. And then I go for the Blast Burn. He ends up shielding. And you know what? I should have like risked it. He ends up body slamming me again. I really shouldn't have shielded. And I lose the CMP tie. Well, I didn't lose the CMP tie. I lost the... Yeah, anyways. Lots of dumb mistakes there. I knew he had Ancient Power in the back because he was farming for quite a bit. So I should have risked it. But anyways, he clearly outplayed me there. So well played. So again, it's Trainer Orange. Trainer in the Maryland area. So I make another dumb mistake here. I go for the Blast Burn. First off, I should do one more Shadow Claw, then the Blast Burn to reduce these confusions. And then I switch out. I should have stayed. Like, if I shield the close combat, then I'm going to win. But I guess it ended up being better for me because I needed to take out this Registeel anyways. Yeah, man, so many Registeels. Okay, all right. So I'm like, okay, I got to take out this... I think I let this go because I'm like, oh, it's definitely a Flash Cannon, right? And I go for it. I probably should have farmed up a little bit more, and I ended up taking it out. And I'm like, okay, here comes... I was like, I should have farmed up a little more. It goes for the Leaf Blade, and yeah, and then next is the absolute worst matchup you can have in Ultra League. Even the sped up 2 times is very long, so I'm gonna just move forward. He ends up beating me by like a... Well, he has the energy advantage, so you can see right here. He ends up having the energy advantage. So GG. Really boring matchup. Like, you just surf each other. I was actually hoping the timer would run out, and I was trying to play mind games with him. And so, but anyways, Typhlosion actually wins this matchup against Cresselia if you with the Psycho Cut Moonblast Future Sight variant. If you just double shield, because you outpace this Cresselia plus these Shadow Claws are doing nice damage. So okay, so they do a nice job. At least I switch out into Lapras. I'm not sure that's the right move, to be honest. I'm like, please don't be Shadow Ball, and it just becomes Omnis Win. And I go for the Ice Beam, able to take it out. And then here comes Cresselia, so I'm going to let this go. Just a Future Sight, not going to do a lot of damage. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go for the Ice Beam because so many people don't like shielding their Cresselia, and that ends up being the case. And here comes Swampert. And I think I let this go. And I think I go into Clefable. I'm not going to shield. And I'm like, okay, I really got to KO this. What do I do? Do I not shield? I shield. And I'm like, I'm going to farm down. And I'm like, okay, Future Sight, that's totally fine with me. And I switch out into Typhlosion. They have no energy. Plus I have... Well, the thing is, like, the Psycho Cut would have KO'd me anyway, so... Go into this next match, Typhlosion into... yeah, and then I go... Registeel. You can already envision what their lineup is going to be, which is fine. This is, like, a very dominant trio. Very dominant, so... like, you could also swap out Swampert with Togekiss, and it would be quite dominant as well. And they do a really nice job farming, putting it as low as possible. And then I think I switch out into, bring in Typhlosion. And I don't know what I was thinking there. And then here comes Lapras and goes into Giratina. I was like, oh, interesting. I'm going to shield. And I'm like, please don't get the boost. And I go for the Ice Beam. I'm like, no shield. I'm like, oh, beautiful. Okay, I can just farm down. And I'm going to let this Ancient Power go through because it's going to do less damage than an Earthquake. And I'm still not within range. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be a very close match. And I go for it. And then I think I let this go. Ends up being an Earthquake, which was a stupid move by me. Anyways, I'm going to lose anyways. So I don't know if I need to predict, to be honest, because like, if that ended up being a Hydro Cannon, they still need to do... I still be able to get 3 more Ice Shards down, and then I would have been able to Shadow Claw down, so... Anyways, make this... I'm after, I think, a pretty decent team comp, I make a stupid move, so... Anyways, well played. Well played. And I'm going to survive this Flash Cannon. Just barely. I'm going to get out this Meteor Mash. I'm not sure if it's better to go... Meteor Mash does more, but... And I guess I'm going to KO it on... so they end up going for the Flash Cannon, and I'm like, okay. So many end up in the same... Okay, anyways. So many of the same team comps. And then I'm going to switch, and they're going to go... Okay, actually, they're going to Cresselia this time, so... I'm like, okay. I'm like, a lot of people don't like shielding their Cresselia. And I go for the Ice Beam. That's great. I think I end up shielding this. Yeah, I do. And then I'm like, okay, build up 2 Ice Beam. And then hopefully they shield the Surf, which ends up being the case. I'm like, okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. I get another Surf off. And I'm going to switch out into... Oh, yeah, this is terrible for me. And the Ancient Power, and I'm like, okay, please do something. I don't know what this could possibly do. And I think I end up in a not so great situation. I think did I let this go? No, I don't. And I'm like, please. No, they're actually Dragon Claw me. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go for Surf. Here comes the shield. But they have energy already, so this is a lost cause. So I had no play there. So well played. Cresselia in the back is super nice. I like that. Able to beat a lot of things. So I'm like, okay, this is a very bad situation for me. So it's going to do the same thing. 6, switch out, catch the Dynamic Punch. Here comes Registeel. And this is going to KO. So I'm like, okay, they have like basically 0 energy at this point. So I'm going to build up a little bit, and then I'm going to go for the Blast Burn. This Blast Burn actually doesn't KO. And I think I let this go. It ends up being a Focus Blast. And you know what? I'm like, you know what? I'm going to lose anyways. Hail Mary play. Oh my gosh, I freaked out. I was like, this is amazing. I'm like, well, I'm still kind of iffy match because this Swampert has the energy advantage. But it's quite alright. And I think they end up letting this Surf go through. And I'm like, oh, okay. And they end up baiting me, which is totally fine, because then they end up hitting this Earthquake, and then I survive a Hydro Cannon anyways at this health, and I end up KOing, and I'm in this last match. This is a very funny match. So I'm like, okay, favorable matchup for me. You know what? I expect them to switch out. He doesn't, and CCO is one of my friends. So I'm like, oh, okay, what the heck? I'm like, okay, he could be going for Psychic, because it was not anticipated, which he does. And then we end up both lagging. I think I got 2 Shadow Claws off. I don't. I think I get this off anyways before him, but it does a little bit of damage, and I'm like, okay, he goes for the Dragon Claw, and I'm like, okay, I have Lapras, and I was like, oh, what the heck? He has double Charmers? This is very confusing for me, so I decided to go into Clefable to KO before the charge move and end up don't. So then I don't want his Charizard to farm, so I let him do one more charm on me, and he realized that as well. And then I'm like, okay, the only way I lose is this Charizard has a ridiculous amount of energy, so I basically let my Clefable get as low as possible, and then I KO. And a very weird team at the end, but he said it's worked effectively for him. He's gone like 20-5 or something like that. So anyways, this team was decent. It definitely had some problems in the back, such against Registeel. But Lapras is super tanky, always great. Clefable is a good charmer. Doesn't take that super effective damage from Ancient Power. And then as well, I think I played Typhlosion pretty decently, but I definitely could have played Clefable that one matchup where I could have landed the Meteor Mash, but I got greedy and then I paid for it. Was not great. So, anyways, this is a pretty decent team. So hopefully you find this video entertaining as well. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see everyone in the next video.